What's going on? RGIJ is back, baby. Just hit the button and let's go. What's going on with you, Michael? What is this mustache? This disgusting line on your face. What is happening with that? What came from this?
Halloween costume.
Ooh, you're actually getting dressed up? Damn, hell has frozen over.
No.
What are you gonna be dressed up as?
So we already started. We went to a party last night. It's
Wait, what? You went to a party?
Well, not a party per se, but it went to like a gathering, a family gathering.
Yeah.
So we went as the Addams family.
Oh, so what's his name? You were Gomez?
Yeah.
Okay.
So got the hair slicked back, got the beard, the mustache. So
yeah, and you got the suit and everything.
We just did like a vest, like some slacks and that type of thing.
Yeah. Where are pictures?
We didn't take none last night, so we'll take some tomorrow when we go trick or treating.
Okay, so is that the plan? You guys are gonna take your daughter trick or treating?
Yeah. So we'll go.
What is her costume going to be? Is she Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you at the trunk or treat.
Yeah, that's her costume with the cousin it as a bag.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. Serious as always in the pic.
It was fucking cold. It's really fucking cold.
I noticed that too. You had a fucking beanie on, a hoodie, and everything else.
Yeah, I'm not. It's cold, man. I'm not there for fun. It's for the kids. So I'm just like, man, it's cold. I don't like that.
Yeah. Where was the trunk or treat at?
It was at the Keller Williams office, so for real estate. So we just had something that we do for like local community.
Okay.
Whole bunch of realtors got together and just have like get in a circle kind of thing. Have our cars and kids came by and stuff like that.
Right.
Candy out for the kids, for the community.
Okay,
community
cool.
involvement.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting candy, but then I was like, when I first moved down here, that first year, I would get candy and I would hand it out just to see the kids' costumes and see what they would come up as. But then lately, I've just been like, fuck it. Like, I don't even want to bother with that shit. Them knocking on the door. Because lately, the costumes have sucked. None of these kids have imagination. They're wearing the same fucking costume that you tie with a plastic mask. You're either Superman, Batman, or something else. You know? Nobody's coming up with their own ideas, which kind of sucks. I remember when I was like 14 years old, we were hurting on candy. And my sister painted my face like a baseball. And I put on Rolo's fucking old baseball uniform and I went out trick-or-treating. So with the candy that I got from the trick-or-treating, we used it to give it out to the kids when they came knocking at my apartment door. Because my mom wasn't in the Halloween spirit. She was like, fuck these kids. I ain't giving out no candy.
Yeah, I couldn't celebrate Halloween growing up, man, because it was, we're super religious. My family's super religious, so it was the Devil's Day, and we didn't celebrate that. And if you're going to a Halloween costume party or some shit like that, you're, whatever that was going on at the time. So,
yeah, interesting. But your family was their faith, their religious practice?
Pentecostal.
I'm Pentecostal, and we still did Halloween.
Man, I weren't strict. Like we were like
we were a different variation of Pentecostal.
Yeah, we're like New York. So like New York's super liberal, right? Like this is Texas, so we're conservative down here. So
yeah,
and like I have one of my tias, she gets to a point where like it used to happen back in the day. I don't know if it happens now. I don't know. But if she was to get in my car, like when I was 16, she'd get in my car. She'd be like, "Can you change it? You're listening to worldly music." And I don't listen to worldly music. I like Christian music. So like that's how I was raised, in a very very religious way. Now they're not gonna do shit to me. I do whatever the fuck I want. They're not gonna say that to me. So
right.
But when I was a little kid,
growing up, then you didn't go trick or treating?
I think I went very once or something like that. But
wow,
yeah. Like, no, nothing, didn't do. You get invited to a party, you couldn't go. You couldn't do any of that shit. Couldn't go trick or treating, couldn't do any of that shit.
Did the kids used to come to your house to get candy, trick or treat, or your family wouldn't? Like, they'll have a sign that said, "Hey, don't fucking bother knocking on this door."
I don't think we had the light on, And then 2, we lived in a bad neighborhood. So I was like, nobody went trick-or-treating in the neighborhood.
Right.
We always went to other places because they had candy and everybody else was poor. So like,
yeah.
No.
See, the benefit of living in New York is in the apartment buildings, there were at least 8 apartments to each floor. So I lived on the second. My apartment building had 4 floors. So that's 32 apartments that you're going around knocking. I mean, you used to leave with, I would either go to my apartment building and maybe the one across the street. And by the time I was done, I didn't even need to go to any more buildings because my fucking bags were full of candy, you know. But then after that, like in my teenagers years, I just got into the partying. We did more partying, like Halloween parties and stuff like that, than fucking trick-or-treating. And then we used to go bombing. You ever did bombing?
I don't even know what that is.
You take, you buy cartons of eggs and you hit people with eggs. So we used to
the
go
70s
around.
was been amazing for you.
We used to go around with hoodies and stuff like that, and we used to fucking chuck eggs at people. And then we had a synagogue, so the Jewish kids that used to come out, we used to chuck eggs at them too.
Thanks. You just now got us canceled. Thanks.
And that was fun. That was just for fun.
Yeah, folks. The 70s were a different time, for sure. It's not
the 80s, not 70s. I'm an 80s kid. I'm an 80s kid.
No, you're not. You're no goddamn 80s kid.
I'm an 80s kid. Hello.
You were born in the 60s and you're raised in the 70s.
So that was our Halloween. Once you got to a certain age, you stopped trick or treating, man. It was not worth it anymore.
Well, it's like you got these kids, man. They're like they're trick or treating. You're like, no, get away from me. Like y'all look weird. Mm-hmm. Stop it. Y'all just. But what people do out here is they'll leave candy on a chair and they'll leave a bucket.
Yeah, they leave it outside and let the kids grab what they want to grab.
And then you always see it on like the neighborhood watch or some kind of website or something like that. These damn it kids, and one kid runs up, takes a whole bag and just dips. And they're mad, but it's like that's what you're gonna do that to kids. Someone's gonna get the bright idea. Fuck, I'll just take all of it.
Might as well. You're not gonna fucking share with anybody else. I would have done the same shit, especially if you have good candy, because you ended up knowing which house to go to that was gonna give you good candy. Like in the apartments, we knew which door to knock on that we were going to get some good shit and which door not to knock on because we weren't going to get good quality candy, you know? So, but it was crazy because I went to, last night, I did an Oktoberfest. So they did an imitation Oktoberfest down here in Orlando, Florida. It was fucking hot as balls, but it was pretty good. The people dressed up in German outfits and everything else, sang their songs, and they did like different games and everything. And then after that, we went to this outside venue where, you know, you were allowed to bring your kids. They were dressed up. Some parents were dressed up. And they did a Halloween costume contest and things like that, just for the grown-ups. Well, as we're sitting there, this dude who's dressed like Michael Myers comes over to us, and he stands right next to me. And, you know, he takes out his little kitchen knife or whatever. I'm assuming it was a toy. So my brother looks at him. He goes, "Oh, shit, it's such and such, you know, one of our mutual friends." So not knowing anything, we're looking at him. We're like, "Oh, okay, you know, it's such and such." So we decided to take pictures with him. So he's like, there's a picture that I posted that he's like holding my neck and he's like going to stab me. And then he goes over to my boy's wife and she takes a picture of him going to cut her throat. And he ends up leaving. So my other boy who was with me looks and he goes, "Hey, that wasn't such and such." It was a random dude who we just allowed to basically kill us, thinking that it was our friend. Yeah. And Rolo was like, "Wait, that's homeboy." And the other friend was like, "No, because once he took off his mask, it wasn't homeboy." And we were like, "Oh my God, this whole time we're thinking it's homeboy who's Michael Myers. And who knows, it could have actually been Michael Myers."
Rolo's fired from being in charge of anything going on. He can get y'all killed.
Yeah. Well, you automatically assume the dude is dressed up full, mask on, the jumpsuit and everything else. And Rolo automatically was like, "Oh, shit, it's our friend."
Yeah. Wasn't like, "Hey, friend. Pete, is that you?" And if Pete goes, "Yes," okay, then it's kind of not your fault as much. Right. But y'all actually just indeliberately just caused a serial killer.
He didn't even ask him and said, "Hey, what's up, such and such?" And Michael Myers, you know, his role is very quiet. He doesn't make much motion and everything else. He just stood there staring at us. And then we're like, "Oh, that's a cool costume. Let's take some pics." And then we see him later on with his mask off, and it wasn't homeboy. I was like,
he's now a killer now. He's gonna go kill people because he got the thrill of it. He was like, that was pretty fun. I love doing that. It was probably a real knife too.
And that's the thing. I didn't check the knife. When he pulled it out, I was like, oh shit, that's like a good prop. This motherfucker probably had a fucking real kitchen knife and everything.
That's what happens when New Ricans go soft.
He had the knife to homeboy's girl. Like, you know, she took a picture like, oh, she's going to cut my throat. I have one where he's holding my neck and he's going to fucking like stab me. And I was like, oh, because it's homeboy. You know, it's our friend. And it wasn't our fucking friend, which was crazy.
You should be ashamed
some
of
these parents really like getting into the costumes, though, man. There were some good ones. We saw a lot of hocus pocus witches. Some of them were like angels. A lot of Prince. You know, may rest in peace. But there was a lot of Prince costumes that we saw, and then there was some that were dressed up like as devils and demons and things like that. That it was pretty good. They put a lot of good effort, creativity into it, and things like that. But I never, you used to do any costume parties when you went into the military and got away from your Pentecostal family?
Nah, man. Like, I mean, for the first 3 years I was deployed. So my first, I think, 2005, 6, and 7, I was deployed. So Halloween was, you were deployed during Halloween. I mean, some people dressed up, but
yeah,
I mean, I didn't think about that shit. Like, I grew up not really caring about Halloween, so I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
Now we have a girl, so she likes it, so we dress her up.
Well, that's good. That's good that she likes it.
Yeah, and then when we're in Japan, we always went every year. We get both my daughters together, and we take them. So that's what we've always been doing.
Is it big in Japan? Is Halloween big out there? Do they do it big?
No, but it's like, you know, you're in Okinawa, so you're on a military base, and so like that's where they open the gates, and you can have visitors. So they'll come on base, and they'll come and do that. So like you'll have some place, and that's what they like. And so you go on base housing, and you just go trick or treating there. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, you get a lot of these kids. They've I take some of my coworkers when I was civilian. I would take some of my actual people, like I would sign them on so their kids can go out and just have, like, try out what it's like to be an American and go trick or treating and have fun. They all have fun. So it's a good time, especially when you're on base. It's like it's safer, right? You don't have to worry about cars. Everybody knows it. It's all candy. You don't have to kind of like, hey, is somebody going to be crazy today? It's just kind of, hey man, it's let's just have fun. So I like those a lot. Like, especially in Japan, it was pretty cool, man. Like I said, the locals would come on base and they would love it. They would have fun, and their kids get to have fun. And then it's kind of like a good representation of like, hey, like, we're just here to have fun. And so it's a good relationship. I think, you know, no one puts a real big emphasis on it, but it's pretty dope to have like a big, in one neighborhood, kids all around the place. You don't have to worry about anything. And then you walk into all your military buddies or something like that. And it's a good time.
Yeah. What you used to go dressed up as? What were some of your costumes?
None. This is the first time I've ever dressed up.
Really?
Yeah. And the only reason why is a fucking pinky promise. Swear to God. Over a year ago, pinky promise got me into this shit. Swear to God.
Wait, so this means, is it going to be a continuous tradition for you guys then, that you're going to have to keep doing Halloween until she leaves the house?
I don't know. I'm trying to stop this one. I'm trying to let this be the last one. And as long as we don't have a promise at all. But,
yeah,
you know, when you have girls, at least, you know, especially when you have kids, having them make sure they have a good experience, having fun, and stuff like that's kind of like top of the list. So unfortunately, it seems like there might be there's a high probability I'm doing some dumb shit next year. So I'm not very excited about it. But for the family, they like doing these things. So it's like, you know, it's like, but I had to grow out my hair for a year, so I'm not very happy about that. So Tuesday morning, we're shaving the shit off.
Oh, so it's like long?
Yeah, man, it's long as fuck. Like, it slicks back all the way back.
Yeah.
I've been growing it for almost a year. You know, doing that shit. So it's time to go, man. I can't fucking stand it.
I hope you're shaving that mustache too.
Yeah, I'm shaving the mustache. It just goes with it, man. It looks weird. Like,
I mean, with the costume, yeah, but just natural, like looking at you like that is weird. It looks very weird.
It works with the hair slick back, you know. Oh shit, man, that's what it was to be in the 50s with that stuff. And this dude was like looking at me. I don't know if he was looking at the mustache, but I was like, you know, kind of like, what, motherfucker? Like, we're at the store right now. And it's like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I might look different than everybody else around me because we're, you know, Texas, either clean shaven or you got a beard.
Yeah.
Nobody just has a mustache.
They probably think you're like a sheriff or a cop or a Lubbock cop.
Yeah, something like that.
Lubbock sheriff.
Got my America hat on here and shit like that. People are like, oh. Looking at me like, you look a little bit different, man. You look like you might be lost. I got tattoos. They're kind of like confused. Like, what are you right now? Are you in a Halloween costume yourself right now?
Yeah,
Like,
what? That's probably what he was looking to try to figure out what costume were you at.
anime shirt, kind of like just like really confused. I'm trying to see what you're at in life right now. But like, do what I want, man.
You're a confused soul. That's your costume, a confused soul. There was a lot of costumes that I was like, that's the frustrated mom costume. Because the moms were out there were just running around with the kids screaming and this, that. And I was just like, that's the costume right there. Frustrated mother, frustrated father. But you're right. Man, they have to do it for the kids. They got to do it for the kids, man.
Yeah, man. That's why when people are like, oh, having kids is fun. I'm like, man, not really. It's amazing. Like, I love being a dad, like hands down.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things where I'm like, why are you here? Like, I got a 9-year-old, or, you know, one of my kids wants to do something. And you want to support them, right? Like, you know, I'm in gymnastics twice a week. And it's like, you're sitting there and you're just watching kids do, you know, flips and stuff like that. It's like, that's what it's about, right? In a sense. So I think those are good. I love being a dad. I love being a husband. I like, you know, that family time.
Yeah.
But if you were to sit there and say like, hey, are you going to go out and socialize with other people? Be like, fuck, you're not going to find me at a bar.
Right.
Because I'll be just kind of looking there and be like, why am I here? Like,
right.
I could be doing work right now. I don't have to be here. Or I can spend time with my family.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, at the same token, your kids will remember this. You know, you hope like when they're 18 or whatnot, they'll look back and say, hey, Dad, thanks, you know, for always doing the Halloween with me, for doing this, for doing that, and everything else. Because as they start progressing, get teenagers, 18, and getting older, you're not going to have that attachment no more. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to want to end up doing their own thing, live their own life. And then you're not going to have those costume parties we went to, the trick-or-treating, and birthdays and all that stuff, because they're out the door. Done and over with.
I think you can have it though. I think you can have where the kid still wants to be with the family. I do think you can, but it just depends on how close you are as a family. So I think it just depends. Like if you're very close as a family, when they turn 20, when they turn 30, they still want to be close to family.
Yeah.
Not like me. Like I'm the complete opposite. Like as soon as I left military, I was gone and didn't talk to family. So
wait, so your mindset is not when your daughter's 18, go off to college, like leave the house? Like you will want her still be in the house?
If she wants to be. If she wants to be around us, I'm like, man, go for it. Like I've already she had like career day the other day, so she was dressed as a veterinarian. And I was like, hey, if you want to be a veterinarian, you go to college, great. Like, but you're gonna run my business. Like I tell her all the time, like, hey, you gotta get really smart because you're gonna run my companies.
Yeah.
So I like to have a relationship with my kids, both of my daughters. So I would like to, when they turn 18, they want to come stay with us or close by. I would like for them to keep, like, I would like to know who they are. I like to not be a friend with them, but have a relationship as they get older. And it's a mutual relationship where it's not just like, yeah, I go talk to my dad every so often, or I don't talk to him for 2 years, or like, I don't want none of that shit. I want to still know who they are as people first. Right. And then when they have kids and stuff like that, I don't want to be that person who's like, oh, where's your dad at? Like, oh, he's over there. And like, we see each other every so often. Like, I don't want that. I mean, I want to be part of their lives.
Yeah, because you see that I've been noticing that trend a lot, where a lot of these kids would leave and they'll totally shut down the family. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll shut them off and they'll do their own thing. Like I did that for a little bit. I mean, even when I joined the military, like the first couple of months when I was in Germany, I was a little homesick because all I knew was New York. But once I found my clique, like my group of friends, I didn't even want to know about New York anymore. You know? My mom used to call my dorm room. That was back in the days where I had answering machines. So she will call and she'll leave me message after message, like, hey, I haven't heard from you. I haven't heard from you. I haven't heard from you. And I'm just like, Mom, just having a good time, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I did that for many years until now that I'm living in Florida with the family. Now I talk to them a lot more than before, you know?
Yeah, not me. I live in the same town as my family. Yeah. And it might be months before I even see them. Like, there's like legit, no joke. There's people that I have moved here for and I haven't seen them yet. I still have not seen them.
Yeah.
And it's okay, man. Like, it is what it is, man. It's one of those ones where my family was never very close. So, you know, when I've been home 2 years and I've seen somebody like twice, it's like, it's cool, man. It's no big deal. I don't take it personal. I understand. Like, it's a two-way street. So it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not very communicative with them as well. So, you know, it is what it is.
And that's partly why you want to have a strong attachment now with your family, because you didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know, that attachment wasn't there.
Yeah. And plus, like I said, my daughter wants to be around. I want to keep her like that, but I don't like that idea of like smothering. I've never liked that idea. So I think that's kind of why I'm kind of like, I'm gonna go do my own thing. And then plus everybody that I've seen from the military, it's almost like it's rare for you to be a family. Like I love my mom. I'll talk to her every day. It's always the opposite. Like you're just getting away and then you're so used to doing what you do that you just become your own person.